Chapter 10. When I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital. Doctors come to me optimistically. One of the doctors showed me a mirror and asked me an admonitional question. Do you know this man? After my denial to place the old man out, they answered me, which made my mind blank. I was astounded to see my fundamentally different face and body in the mirror I was shown. I was an old, curvaceous man, and disparate as a grandfather and a son. Firstly, I don't believe my eyes. There was change. When they explained everything, I was little convinced. Much of oblivion was gripping my mind as well. They allegedly stated that my beloved had been alive when I was fainted in the forest. The cops were able to find out who we were from among those living and dead. We, too, were taken to the hospital for treatment against sustaining injuries. As learnt later, my heart failing to withstand further pains and suffering was lowering on its functions of course of true. My girl knew all about what condition I was developing, and before she passed away, she had urged them to use her heart in my body. A deal of transplantation was given to a form. Through the transplant was successful. I was not back to continuous outright. That incident left me in a coma. I was in a state of observation for 50 years. Technology, the life was on chase. My luck airlifted me from the place, and discrepitude embraced me tight. I happened to make a rivalry to say, you named your life for me. Your heart is with me. Though I was dead for 50 years, but you kept beating for my living. You went beyond my fate line and gave me another life. This life is yours and many lives to come. You're beating inside, so I am living. Love for you is so much. Let your heart be full of the ingredients making you and me. The world for long, ours it will be. My heart settles nowhere. People may call me lunatic. I don't care, as long as you breathe inside. Plus, this took me 2 years more to recover and restore my past by the help of the doctors and their surveillance. They tried all ways to make me normal, backed up by their congruent evidence. I was carried 7 seas away by many agencies. The country considered it as an apology to human achievements. Despite the groundbreaking artifacts, however, I saw my desire. I was somewhere in the land I had smelled first. I was kept in an old age home near the sea. There were imponderable old and needy people. Their own children, casting aside the responsibilities, left most of them. A new shelter was set. I was to hold my life there around so and so. Once on Valentine's Day, I remember a program was thrown. I was the part of the function as well. I didn't miss my turn to deliver a speech on love. A big hand from the crowd woke my sleeping love. I smiled benevolently and cried concurrently before I started my speech. My expression carried these words. I believe in 3 stages of love. The first stage is the love of the mind. The second stage is the love of the chest. And the third stage is the love of the heart. In the initial phase, when they first fall in love for a few months, one or both fetch stars of each other. Even a minute seems hours. Behind the time they sauntered. They assume the world is erroneous, and they are right. The world external seems to be tight. No rational can tell in mistakes. Fire they become, basking of other shakes. In the second stage, when your love is mattered, true color of love they perceive. One step around them they look for. They let their hearts acculate through their eyes, which look quieter. Their souls get convulsed, and they leave nothing for the to-be-managed noodles. They need both love so as they make their life organic. To reach the depth of spiritual love, physical love is necessary. In words, they can love up to clothes. In deeds, they can love up to skin. To experience the true color of love, physical love makes a way. Their heart understands the language, that of other heart. Our misses the other. Then the true missing takes place. Suffering and pain take a birth. Then the true mistakes take place. Suffering, the pain take a breath, which keep giving sickness to love. Eventually the two bodies unite. In the third stage, they get married. They last socially. They are abided by social norms so moral. Their love turns social and critical. It takes the shape of responsibilities, forgetting their arm and pain. They look worried for their children. The birth of a child makes their dreams lame. In the last stage, when they become old, their children become the source, that of their optimism, coloring every imaginism, the changes around the world. They want to see through their eyes, compromising world of certain ties. They won't, and they can't. They matter knowledge and also ignored. Their mouths are bigger than their hearts, and an elliptical measure not as such. Some as wonderful stories as such. The ultimate truth, they want to cuddle in peace, in the wanton of bliss. Finally, only when death chooses them, everyone cries for his or her life, accepting all heaven calls, and about to end that's all. I couldn't say they're subsequent of my speech, nevertheless, our stories are similar, but it turned to be travesty to me. I was such a misanthrope, and everyone's happiness seemed fake and annoyed, though such feeling in me didn't last for long, since I was not a sadist. Contemplation engraved me so tight. I wanted to slip away far from the mudding crowd or solits. Therefore, I went to the coast right away to value the meaning of my life being in between the sea and the land. I spoke to myself. Why cannot I stay in a happy environment? Why only pains and soul friendships? Why are my cases not adjudicated before the law? Maybe I didn't exist identically through I am being a person, the person not recognized as a human being, or that I were an alien. I looked at the still and calm water in the sea in contrast to my life. My product feeling was so enchanted that I looked towards the east in profound persistence and drew a map of my country on the sandpaper. The patriotic spirit in my heart woke up seeing a small house and 3 members. Me, my better half, and my cute daughter. She was standing outside the door, as though she was getting ready for school. We, too, were also ready for a job or a hectic morning hour session. Suddenly, a severe drenching of waves in my body and my bucolic map made me realize of nothingness. My dream was certainly infectious. I gained sight in my ambition. Nothing was mine and nothing is mine. As an infant, I perceived my mother was mine. A language intervision realized me. She belonged to father, all so inclusive. I brackened her with a girl. I was hypothetical in all affiliates to be mine. To be born with a silver spoon in my mouth, I was ecstatic. Anon, I construed. They belong to nature, relating its own future. Eventually, I was thrilled that my life is mine. All organs are mine. Unfortunately, I was acknowledged to be one of God's ideas in ordinary. Think is mine. Nothing is stable. Everything internal complies. Nothingness if realized. But for God, and nothingness is everything. God created many things out of emptiness, out of nothing. Liking riches accommodated from poverty, pleasure sought after pain or so, therefore the God is that nothingness. Eventually, I found my life very difficult to understand. However, I thought of nothing for something divine in life, ahead again, and tried to cope with my situations my way I could. After the heart had made me recall our mission, I set out for my second journey to chant songs of peace towards Bellicant's palace, and to tell the world my story, to keep my heartfelt peace globally. I felt as if my beloved was walking along with me, I could glean victorious pleasures. I turned towards the east again and shouted, "I love you." "I love you too," I heard the same echo. Later, I found that it was a bird which was teasing me. It was a parrot which flew closer and sat on my shoulder. The bird started singing. Those hugs, those moments, I want to have again. Such a love I never want to give up. Come every night and make me feel young. Your heart always makes me feel young. Death and life are alike for us. You filled my heart with spirits that makes me cheerful every second. In such a long journey, someone is necessary. Thanks for being with me day in, day out. Why is the bird able to sing so well like a human? Why was it trying to dig my feelings that I had been buried under from my far past memories? Nevertheless, the song made me lighthearted and ebullient. Energy factor in me was somewhat on. I wish I were a bird and flew with it. I didn't know why I was truly enamored with the bird. Eventually, I was convinced to follow the bird for my mission. It's of campaigning projects to support the life of the concerned aiming and living at its stage full. I know how difficult it is for a youngster to act as an adult before age. I don't want to see any person suffer as I have realized across my lifetime. Let the child live a child, youth a youth, an adult, for the sake of life's nature's on its own. The horizon turning silvery with the rays of the morning sun added to my confidence pertaining to my psyche seeking a way of altruism possible. I gave a refreshing splash upon the continuance and sat there the morning prayers as usual. Finished.